Hey friends, this is Miss Wolfie from our Half Acre Homestead, and today we're making potato candy. We went to sleep in it pouring rain, and this is what we woke up to this morning. Yesterday, I cooked and riced potatoes, and even though the power's out, you don't need power to do this part. Now, this is not your traditional potato candy. This is coffee, this is maple, and this is chocolate. And these are all getting, like, they're getting nice and firm. They're firming up beautifully, look. Okay, so as soon as these are really good and firm, I'm going to cover them in different flavorings. Like, this is the maple, and all I did was add a half a cup of crushed maple flakes. You can buy them at the bulk store. If you can find maple sugar and crush it all up and replace 1 cup of maple sugar with 1 cup of the icing sugar, worked out fine. And this, all I did was add a 1/4 cup of baking cocoa powder to the mix. So this is going to get covered probably in dark chocolate. This is going to get covered in butterscotch. And this is going to get covered in milk chocolate. Coffee, maple, and cocoa. Potato candy. I had no idea how easy it was to make. And I'm going to show you how I made these because I'm going to make one more flavor, cherry or mint. I haven't decided yet. And I'll show you how I did it. Okay. Potato candy is basically this: mashed potatoes, butter, and sugar. It's basically a buttercream frosting with potatoes to stiffen it up. Now, you don't want your potatoes like leftover mashed potatoes with butter and salt and pepper and milk and all that in them. It is just, what I did was I peeled the potatoes, diced them, boiled them, and then riced them. And so we're going to start with equal amounts. Half a cup or 1 stick of butter, meaning a 1/4 pound, and a half a cup of mashed potatoes. So let's get those in there. There we go. Now, before we go any further, this is plain potato candy. Oh, and you would put maybe some vanilla, okay? And we're gonna use about 1.5 to 2 pounds of icing sugar. The first 3 batches, I wasn't content because I didn't like the look of the pinwheel. And, you know, maybe I'll make some of that, but this, my brain went in a whole new direction because this made me think of the soft fillings in chocolates, right? So I started making flavored potato candy. Now, out in the porch, chilled and nice and hard, which we're gonna coat, is maple potato candy, chocolate potato candy, and coffee potato candy. Being that my first few turned out nice, I decided to get brave. I'm going to make, this is like vanilla, only it's cherry flavored, and let's see how strong it is. Oh yeah, that's there. We're gonna put about a teaspoon of this cherry oil in here. We're gonna start creaming these together. Now you could do this in the KitchenAid, and I would probably be, it would probably be easier, but this is, the power was out when I started this recipe. So guess what? I'm going to finish it the way I started it, because who knows, maybe the secret is in working it with your hands, right? Okay, now, what I like to do with the icing sugar is I like to sift it. Now basically it calls for 6 to 7 cups of icing sugar and some for rolling. Gracie, can you see this, folks, right here? The Sugar Junkie. It calls for 6 to 7 cups, but I found that it doesn't really matter how many cups I use, and as long as the dough gets the consistency I want. Now remember, folks, these aren't cookies, this is candy. Now, we're going to put a nice, oh, I don't know, almost a 1/4 cup of cocoa in that sugar. And we're going to start sifting it in here. Put the cocoa right through so it's all broken up beautifully, just like the sugar. I have no idea if this is going to work, folks. I've never made potato candy before, but I'm going on the success I had with the first 3 batches. Uh-oh, I may not have enough in here. I have Christmas red, and that's all I have. Let's hope it's enough. But even if it tints it a little bit red, darn, if I had known, I would have bought some more. Now, how I do this now is I just start dumping. I should sift it, but my hands are kind of mucky at the moment. And I just start adding sugar. And I knead it in. So basically, we're making like a buttercream frosting that has potatoes for body to make it a stiff and rollable dough. Well, not stiff, but a soft rollable dough that once it firms up in the chill, it's really... I don't like using liquid food colorings because, you know, they make things so wet. However, having said that, I also like using, you know, I would use them if I had them right now. God, what a mess I'm making. So, let's just scrape this out onto here. Everybody asks why I use a cloth, so I'm going to answer that question again for the newcomers. It's easier to clean the table afterwards because you just take it outside and flick out the flour or the sugar, and then you just throw the cloth in the wash. All right, now this is going to be kind of like making bread. We're going to start kneading all this sugar into our candy. I can smell the cherry, that's for sure. All right, these are going out in the porch, and I'm going to bring in another batch. And I'm going to clean this mess up. These are my just plain chocolate. See how nice and hard they are, but they're soft enough that you could actually squish them. So I'm going to coat these with sea salt caramel chips. Let's get over to the microwave. Giant Tiger had a sale on of all these different kinds of chips. And I got the last white chocolate, the last score bits. I got a dark chocolate chunks, and I got sea salt caramel. So what we're going to do now is, now you can do this in a double boiler and the same reasoning applies, but I don't have the back power or the pain tolerance right now to stand that long. So what I'm going to do is I'm taking one package of the salted caramel chips. I'm going to put them in the microwave, and I'm going to put them on popcorn. Now it's important that whatever you're going to melt, that you have the double amount. So if I only had one package of chips, I would only melt one package. Or I would melt the half a package and leave the other half to temper it. Let's see if I don't even know how to work a microwave anymore. We're gonna see if this is melting. See, it's just starting to melt. You don't want to just leave it in there. You want to get it all stirred up. Now this is almost ready. I'm going to say another 10 seconds or so. Okay. We wanted to give it that last couple of seconds. And now we're going to take these ones. We're going to pour them in. What this does is it changes the temperature of the chocolate, even though this is like salted caramel, but it changes the temper of the chocolate chips so that you get a nice glossy finish. It'll be, you know, well, let's hope we do. This is going to be the more tedious part, but anything worth doing is worth doing right, my father used to say. Now we're just going to take the candy and we're just going to twirl it. Like that. Yeah, this is really thick. Now there wasn't quite enough to cover all of them, but that's okay. The prettiest ones are going to go in the gifts, and they're already stiffening up beautifully. Let's go get the maple ones. So, this is my maple candy. So, what coating? I think I'm going to do just a plain nice chocolate coating. Now, here's our chocolate. It is not dark chocolate. It is milk chocolate with semi-sweet. And I'm just now going to drop in some score bits. They might melt, they might not. Who knows? I find the fork works a lot better and a lot faster. Drop, roll, and lift out. I tasted this chocolate. It's got a nice dark chocolate flavor, very cocoa-y. So that's why I threw in the score bits. Just a little bit more sugar, like we needed more of that. Okay, so these are my coffee ones. And all I did was do a standard recipe, and I put in a 1/4 cup of instant coffee. Now I'm just going to put milk chocolate in here, and when I temper it, I'm going to temper it with a 1/2 package of butterscotch chips. So here is our milk chocolate and butterscotch, and I'm starting to think I should have put the butterscotch in with the dark chocolate. But these are all different flavors. Now these are our coffee potato candies. And again, the fork works much, much better. Okay, so now we're going to do our chocolate cherry. And what I've got here is, I'm not going to have enough chocolate to cover all these candies, but that's okay. What I'm going to do for the chocolate cherry, to separate it from the rest, is, aside from the fact that they're round, I'm going to use white chocolate, and I'm going to get it melting, and then I'm going to put in a few dark chocolate chunks. Just hopefully we can make some swirly things. So let's just get that in there, put it on pizza. No, that's far too, oh well, whatever. We'll just take it out. It's 2 minutes, so we'll take it out and stir it every once in a while. Let's open our chocolate chunks. Now once it is starting to melt, keep an eye on it, because then it goes really quick. We just want this melted enough. About 20 more seconds. And then we'll be at the table, and I'm going to show you what we're going to do next. So, I'm obviously not going to have enough to cover all of these. Now, this is our hot white chocolate. Now, normally to get it tempered, we would stir in more white chocolate chips to cool it down a bit, but I'm just going to throw in a couple of chocolate chunks. Now, the reason I'm using chunks is so that it melts, but not that fast. I want to see if we can get a streaky result. So we're just going to stir them around to the edge. And then we're going to start covering our chocolate cherry balls. Okay, that one's looking really white. We're just gonna, you know, see what we can do. There is a swirled one. Oh, that's what I'm looking for, is the swirl look. Like the streaks of chocolate in the white. Who knew making candy could be so much fun with a simple base recipe like potato candy? And these are delicious, trust me. Aren't they beautiful? Aren't they lovely? I'm almost out of coating mix here, so I'm going to put these to chill, and then we're going to start boxing them up. All right, so here are our candies, and isn't it an impressive amount? And Bob's your uncle. There is a beautiful gift of homemade candy. See what happens when you give me a recipe? I know people asked me for potato candy last year, but I saw a potato candy recipe and I ran with it. And this is what happened. This is the Mrs. Wolfe from our half-acre homestead saying take care, God bless, Merry Christmas, and I hope this holiday season finds you all safe, warm, and surrounded by love. Take care, God bless.